when Drake early on like separated themselves as an artist from a pack. When was that? Like 2010 or something like that?
Mm.
Because I remember hearing him and he was talking and he spoke an image. You know, he had a stripped down instrumental and he spoke about an image about his mom crying
Mm.
because of something that's happened in his life. And she'd left like stains on his t-shirt from the tear stains.
Mm.
That was an image. Like that was
Mm.
a personal image that stuck with me.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
that's what I tried to reach. I tried to reach imagery or, personal insights that stick and move me, like that. Even if it's subconsciously, I won't forget that line.
Mm.
Um, but yeah, sometimes when I'm in the studio with others, I can't get to that place because
Yeah.
it's more, there's a lot more levels of you've got to reach a standard of presentation or
Mm.
performance of swagger of style,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean, all of and technical ability, and you're also switched on to other people's conversations. And I know like maybe somebody like you thrives in that environment. For me, I don't necessarily thrive there, but I think I could, but I'll need time. Like I need
Mm.
repeated days in the same studio with the same
Yeah.
people to
Yeah,
then
yeah.
start to get used to the vibe. I think it separates, the greats from, the Cuds and the Cud Nots or whatever, because, you see somebody like Little Wayne or somebody like that who can travel from hotel to hotel and record and record and record.
Mm.
Somebody recently that I was switched onto from some of my students was Juice World. And that's I've seen the documentary of them just going from radio show to radio
Mm-hmm.
show to studio, literally just freestyling songs, like feeling the music and then freestyling whole songs in one go. I
Mm.
think the more that you do it, I get a sense that it must be like freestyling because I remember when I was in my early 20s and I got myself to a point where I felt like I was reasonable with freestyling. And the reason why I say that with confidence is because Lee Ramsay, like one of the greatest lyricists from that Nottingham's ever produced, I remember him when we were in the car one day and I was just freestyling to a beat when we were in the car driving home from London. And I remember him stopping and saying, "Yeah, keep going, keep going." And because he obviously heard like, "Oh, this guy's improved. Let me have a listen to what he's doing."
Mm.
He showed an interest. So that's why I feel like those elements like collaboration or working in from studio to studio or out of your comfort zone, I think you can get used to that. But I am very kind of in my comfort zone when I'm in the studio, and that's there's gifts and curses to that. I think.
Yeah, but I think you're right. It has to also be in the mood as well. I mean, sometimes I don't want to be around other people when I'm writing, just the same as what you would say. Maybe your default is that, whereas my default might
Yeah,
be the other. But I do feel you know, there is something to be said about being alone and being alone with your own thoughts, where you're not so focused on whether this, flow's going to be amazing or whether,
yeah,
this punchline's going to make so you're just all about this is just me. Like I just want to get out what's
yeah,
inside of me without overthinking it. Sometimes when you're around other people, as you very rightly said, you might be thinking, right, I've got to make this flow, I've got a bit this delivery thing. Whereas when you're writing in solitude, it's all about what is going down on that paper, what's coming from inside of you. And sometimes it
yeah,
does feel like it comes from another place. I've said this to so many people, like there's been moments where I feel like it's been kind of automatic writing, where I feel like it hasn't even come from like it's come from me, obviously, but it feels like it's coming from another place. It's almost like your subconscious has been given the pen and it's writing, and your conscious is just watching it happen. Does that make
yeah,
sense?
yeah. That's dope. I like that idea. That's where I want to reach. If I had when I was a number of years ago, I studied towards a PhD in rap lyricism,
Yeah,
and
this is
part
something I
of
want to
that,
talk to you about, actually. We will get onto that definitely, but I'm glad you've obviously mentioned it now anyway. Yeah, carry on. Sorry. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, it was. I was saying this to somebody recently about that process because doing the research towards the PhD involved reading critics like Nelson George or Adam Crims or Justin Williams or David Diallo or Trisha Rose and Imani Perry and all of those people who've written, expansively on hip hop. And I would be reading those things in the morning. I get up fresh, and because I had a stipend. I was able to take my time. I'd wake up in the morning, I'd read and I'd study, and then I'd write out what I'd learned or I'd write towards the thesis. But then what I'd find is, I'd go exercise or something, and then I'd go to the studio because I had the time then. And
Hmm.
in the studio, like you were talking about, almost it's you watching yourself, right? Or it's the elements of your subconscious are there and you can see it happening, but it's not quite you, but it is you.
Mm.
There
Mm.
was that because what I was writing was directly relating to what I'd just read, but these were complex